Hey drummers, it's Rob Litton here from drumsareword.com. Welcome to this free mini song lesson. Today I'm going to show you the main parts, the best parts from the song Set Fire to the Rain by Adele, drummed by Ash Soan. And this was quite a popular request over on my Facebook page, so I'm happy to do this for you. If you want to make your own song suggestions, then please go over to my Facebook page to do so. And also just recently I set up a thread on the YouTube community page of my channel. So go to my channel and click on the community tab. You'll see I've written a post there, a request post asking for your song suggestions, and I'll be doing a few song suggestions for my YouTube audience as well in the coming weeks. But you can get this transcript for you from my website. 2 pages. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the main parts, the beats and grooves from the song, transcribed for you. You'll find this free PDF on my website. There's a link to there beneath this video. So have this printed out in front of you as we go through this together. So the song starts 108 BPM and the drums come in at 9 seconds. And Ash is playing this this bat beat that occurs throughout the song. We're playing the bat beat not on beats 2 and 4 as you usually expect, but on the and 2 and beat 4. And I'm going to be using this high tom up here. Notice on the recording though, and the way they play it live, the drummer's playing the floor tom, but because my hi-hat's here, I tend to click sticks, and you'll find it much easier because you just have your left hand come underneath your right hand, which is playing the hi-hat over here. It's a little bit easier for you than it is for me to play it this way. So I'm going to use this tom. It doesn't really matter. It's just for demonstration purposes. So hi-hat, and we get this high tom on, or floor tom, on the and 2 and beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Underneath that, and this is pretty much a constant for the whole song, I'm pretty sure, apart from one bar I've got for you, we're playing quarter notes all the way through, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if we put all those 3 parts together, we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's our main drum beat. It's just how we orchestrate it, either on the snare drum or on the ride cymbal, but that's the basic beat that goes throughout the song. On top of that though, we got a bit of flash. If we take a look at the second bar, at the end of the bar, the drum beat's the same up to the end, but from beat 4, from the end of beat 4, Ash throws in these little double 30-second notes on the snare drum. And this kind of pushes the difficulty up from a sort of beginner intermediate lesson to more of an advanced lesson. And so if I did want to do that because I think this song is really good for sort of beginner intermediate drummers. So if you really can't play doubles, don't worry about them, get rid of them, just play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for all 4 of these bars. That'll work just as well. The doubles are really quiet in the mix, so no one's going to miss them. But on the recording, I'm pretty sure I'm hearing for the second bar, these doubles are coming on the and beat 4. And that's certainly how they seem to be playing it live. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and a 1 and a 1. So up to speed, you can see so you got to get your doubles up to speed. It can be a little bit tricky. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and a 1. You could play it as singles, but Ash isn't. And in fact, I find the doubles easier to keep it quiet because they're not loud doubles. They need to be played quietly on the snare. So that's the second bar. The third bar, back to our basic groove. But then beat 4, and it's a 4-bar pattern here that we get for the beginning of the song. This 4 bars get repeated for the first part of the song. Instead of playing the doubles starting on the and of beat 4, he plays them starting on beat 4. 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1. So that's quite an advanced technique again. Just leave it out and just play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 for all 4 bars. If I play those 4 bars slowly for you, then we'll play up to speed. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 And now let's hear it without the drums, without the microphone on, so you can hear just the drums up to speed. Here we go. Okay, so then at 55 seconds we get this repeating drum fill that happens a couple of times in the song, this sort of build-up idea. The bass drum is still playing 1, 2, 3 and 4, but the hands, he's on the hi-hat at this point, we're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Over 2 bars, we're just increasing the volume and just opening the hi-hat slowly over the length. We don't get too loud towards the end, but it's building up in volume. Underneath that, like I said, we've got the bass drum just pumping quarter notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And notice beat 3 is where it closes. 3. So the hi-hat cuts out completely for beat 3. Beat 4 is rested over, and then we're into our next groove with the next bar next. The next bar next. So we get over 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 4. Simple as that. Let's hear that a couple of times. So then at 1 minute, Ash goes to the ride cymbal, and it's a 4-bar pattern really that gets repeated. Simply this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so same as we had here, just on the snare drum now instead, and right hand is on the ride cymbal instead of the hi-hat. Notice that 4-bar starts with a crash cymbal as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then the last bar, you get this drum fill that occurs a few times in the song. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. By the way, the and a 1 drum fill would be great for the beginning, from the first example I gave you in this lesson. Instead of playing those doubles, you could play and-a instead, just to replace those doubles if you want to play something there. Anyway, that last bar again: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. And after that drum fill, it does go into a crash cymbal: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. So let's hear all 4 bars up to speed. So at 1 minute 18, the song comes back down again in volume, and Ash moves back to the hi-hats: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So it's the same as our beginning drum fill, but just here, and our right hand's on the hi-hats. But then notice at the end of bar 2, every 2 bars, he has this open hi-hat thing. So take a look at bar 2, you can see an open hi-hat on the and of beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now that particular one's quite hard to hear, but at the end of the 4th bar, you do definitely hear the open hi-hat quite clearly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Simple as that, those 4 bars: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And a couple of times up to speed. So then at 2:26, and this was quite hard for me to hear because it's quite low in the mix. The rest of the orchestra and Adele singing quite loudly. So the drums are very low in the mix here, but I think he's playing on the floor tom. The right hand's on the floor tom. We're still maintaining that bass drum on quarter notes, and he's flamming between the floor tom and the snare drum on the and 2 and beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Just ever so slightly separated, a flam. You could play, if you can't play a flam, you could just play that instead. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. But on the recording you're hearing a flam. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... I believe that's what I'm hearing. I don't think it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. But if you wanted to play it on between the two toms instead, that'll work just as well. But I think it's the flam on the snare drum. I think he's flamming on the snare drum as well as the floor tom. That's what I think I'm hearing. Then at the end of those 2 bars, we get the drum fill again, and the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the 1. So slowly those 2 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the 1 and 2 and now a couple of times up to speed. So I included this next example, this 2-bar example at 2 minutes 44, because it involves 2 ideas that Ash is starting to introduce now towards the end of the song. One is playing an extra snare drum note on beat 1. So the first bar we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It starts with a crash snare drum, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. There's a couple of other places later in the song, and I believe also the previous part of the song, where he might be playing 1 and it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Not every bar though, but occasionally he does throw in this extra note on beat 1, and as you can see here, this is where it occurs when he's up on the ride cymbal. Then the second bar, we skip over beat 1, but at the end of the bar, and this is an idea he also starts to repeat now towards the end of the song, it doesn't happen previously, where he throws in a surprise backbeat on the and of beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and with a snare and crash. A crash would give it a bit more emphasis. So both those notes are on the and of 2 and the and of 4, the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and sort of pops out occasionally. So there's 2 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you loop it, 1 for the second bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. He just simply moves back to the and 1 for the next bar. So let's hear those 2 up to speed. So I wanted to give you like a longer example of this. So at 2 minutes 57, he's playing all kinds of ideas here. So the first bar, he plays 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 ands. So it's 4 and the and of 4 on the snare drum. 4 and that's crash cymbal on the and of beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then in the second bar, we get the snare drums falling on 2, 3 and beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that might catch you off guard because you've been used to putting the snare drum on the and of 2, but now it comes in on beat 2 and beat 3 and beat 4. And I believe it's very hard to hear on the recording I had anyway. I think the bass drums are playing on the and of 2 and the and of beat 3. So for the first and only time in the song, the bass drum is broken up. All the way through it's just been playing quarter notes. For this one bar though, I think he plays this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it certainly goes with what I'm hearing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go back to the bass drum maintaining on quarter notes for the next bar. So bar 3, again another example of having that snare drum fall on beat 1, again with a crash cymbal. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then bar 4 is exactly the same as we had the second bar in our previous example with that surprise snare and crash on the and of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So all 4 bars there include different ideas. Let's put them together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now up to speed. So then finally at the very end of the song, 3 minutes 53, up on the ride cymbal, and Ash plays 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 4 and that and is crashed on the ride cymbal. 4 and, but the reason I wanted to include it is because it involves a cymbal choke as I just did there. You strike on the and of beat 4 and and then go to grab the ride cymbal with your, whichever hand you like, but I tend to use the right hand from over here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just simply choke it like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the song ends with a sudden choking of the cymbal. So just for complete sake, let's just hear that a couple of times. So there you go. If you've got any questions, email me, robert@drumstheword.com. Don't forget to download the free PDF from my website. Go over to my Facebook page if you want to make some song suggestions there. If you're watching this on YouTube, then please go over to the community panel on my channel to make your song suggestions. You'll see the latest post. It's pretty obvious. And if you're over on my website, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member. And what I currently offer for $97 is a full year's online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. That's coming up to 450 famous and popular songs where, unlike this lesson, I teach you the full song from start to finish, every single bar, beat, fill, even solo if they include one. You get the fully transcribed PDF drum chart, and like I said, I've got almost 450 famous and popular songs on the website already. As a thank you for signing up, I'll give you access to even more. I'll give you hundreds of videos teaching you many famous drum beats, fills, and even drum solos. I'll give you 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds more famous beats, fills, and solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members, and I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday. So you've got lots of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, feel free to email me, robert@drumstheword.com. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you.